Hi everyone. Hope you had a good lunch. My main talk today is about growing the Cordova community. Most of you have been using a distribution like PhoneGap, Monica, or Ionic, but Cordova is essential to all those distributions. So I'm here to ask for your help in helping Cordova. So who am I? I wear two hats. I'm a software developer at Adobe, and I'm also the project management committee chair of Apache Cordova, which means I try to keep the project healthy by getting more contributors, making the project run smoothly. So I'm going to be talking mostly about my role in Apache instead of Adobe. So an overview of what I'm going to be talking about today. Firstly, I'll talk about who is contributing to Apache Cordova and why. And an easy URL to remember, contribute.cordova.io for new contributors. And two modes of contributing, easy mode and hard mode. And lastly, how to graduate from being a contributor to a committer. So this image is a bit outdated, but this represents all the contributors to Apache Cordova so far. The next slide will show you who's really active right now. So as you can see, we have Adobe and Microsoft. Microsoft has been slowly moving away from the project, but they're still contributing a little bit. But Adobe is contributing the bulk of the commits to Cordova, which you would think is a good thing, but that's not a good thing for a project, because we need a broad and diverse set of contributors to keep the project healthy. Why would you contribute to Cordova? A lot of you probably contribute to open source, and you know by contributing you gain a good reputation on GitHub. For example, looking for new jobs, and you learn new things. Like Cordova, we do broad cross-platform development, so you'll learn how to do an iOS, Android, and Windows, and networking. For example, all these conferences that you can go to, and also, you connect with people, for example, at Adobe or Microsoft. And lastly, which is the most important thing, you push the web forward and make a difference. We mainly use JavaScript because we believe in the web, and we want Cordova to eventually disappear and be baked into browsers, and that will help everybody. So how big is Cordova? We have 66 total repos, which is a handful to manage. 25 are plugin repos, and we have about, I think, 10 platforms, but only 3 are active right now, which are the big 3, iOS, Android, and Windows universal platform. So Simon earlier talked about this. We have one issue where we have a roadmap of plugins, all our 25 plugins, where we want to either sunset or continue contributing, or integrate it into the platforms. Because some plugins have become stale, so we're trying to align it to the W3C. So eventually, when you move your code away from Cordova, which won't happen anytime soon, I hope, but you won't have to do much changes. This is a blog post, putting my Adobe hat on. This is a blog post by our my colleague, Jesse McFadden. You can see his talk today at 4:50 p.m. about exploring music with Cordova. This is Adobe's continued commitment to Cordova. And And as you can see, we are continuing our commitment, and we're not going away. This is the website when you go to contribute.cordova.io. It will show you all the repos, either on Apache or GitHub, and all the steps that you need to follow to have a good size contribution or discuss on the mailing list features. This is the easy mode. For a lot of you, you probably wonder, how do I contribute to Cordova? It seems so complex, right? So if you have certain edits, like very tiny, trivial matters, for example, this is our documentation. If you go to docs.cordova.io, you'll see something like this. And on each page, you'll see at the top, which is circled in red, edit source on GitHub. Just click on it, and it will bring you directly to the repo. And on that page itself, you'll see a pencil icon. Click on it. Assuming you're logged in, it will either go to your fork of that repo or create a new fork for you. Super easy. We have a lot of shortcuts for Cordova. I will let you explore some of them, but some interesting ones are slack.cordova.io, our own Slack, where you can contact the developers directly. Issues.cordova.io, which we use Jira for tracking all our issues. It's our to-do list, so if you have a problem with Cordova, file an issue there. Status.cordova.io, which shows you overall status page of all our repos. We do a lot of testing. We do testing on Travis, testing on AppVeyor, and all the 25 plugins we test on 6 devices. So it's a huge grid. And one interesting page is telemetry. When you install Cordova, we ask you whether can we track you, your usage anonymously. So this is where we gather all that data. So as you can see, you can't see there, but when you scroll down, you'll see most of you are already using nodes 6 and 7. Okay. Okay, this is the hard mode. Easy mode was added in GitHub. Hard mode. We have a developer tool. We call it Coho. So some of you would know, or you might not know, Coho can either be the salmon or this promising, well, used to be promising hockey player. Hockey player, he's already retired. Cody Hodgson of the Canucks. Do we name it after a hockey player or the salmon? Well, both are kind of Canadian, so I choose Coho. Salmon. So Cordova Coho has been released last week. It's mainly a developer tool, but we released it so most developers can easily contribute non-trivial fixes easily. So how do you install it? As usual, it's a node module, so it's a command line utility. Install it globally from npm. So the first thing you should do is run the help, --help, and there's a ton of commands in there, but the ones listed in red are the ones that you really should know as a start. List repos. We have, as I said, we have 66 repos, but not all the repos will be relevant to you. So when you list repos, it will list all 66, obviously, but there are some repos which are grouped. So Some repos are grouped by ID, say platforms, or tools, or plugins. So when you do the next command there, Cordova repo update, which will clone the repo if you don't have it. You put -r. So if you want iOS, you put iOS in there, or the group ID, like tools or platforms. The other three below repo update is some interesting commands that you can run. You can run list polls, which will list all the pull requests from our GitHub repos. You can list all the contents or just stats about it, so you can see what's going on. Last week, which shows commits that happened last week, which you can specify the number of days. Short log gives you stats of who committed to the repo, so you'll see like for the past 7 days, maybe I contributed 10 commits, and say Jesse 5 commits, or Steve 10 commits. The last one is one I will demonstrate, Coho create PR. So these are the steps to create a PR. There's a lot of steps, so I won't go through them right now because it will take too long, but I'll do a demo. Firstly, you need to fork the repo in GitHub. It's a video. So you just go to GitHub, click on the fork button, either create a new repo or go to your existing repo, find your HTTPS URL, and copy it. All right, so once you have that, go to your terminal, and you have Coho. So you try to clone the repo you're interested in. In this case, it will be iOS. I've already cloned it. So now I'll go inside that repo. I'm on the master branch. So, but now I'm going to add my remote, that URL we went to just now. So now I'm going to create a topic branch for my fix. So I created a branch called my fix, and I pushed it to my remote. So that branch will be on my fork. And this is a convoluted example here, but I'll just add an edit inside README, the README. Save it. And I'll view my changes quickly. You can see 2 lines. And commit it. I'll add the issue number as a prefix. And I'll push it to my remote branch. So once I do that, I can run Coho create -PR. That will immediately launch that URL. I won't show it here, but I'll show you the screenshot. Your PR is ready. So in most cases, you would just say submit pull request, but in the PR itself, it will there's a template that tells you need to fulfill certain requirements, like the Jira issue number, whether you've tested it. Most repos, almost all the repos have an npm test script, so you will run npm tests before you submit it, and if it passes, you're good. But to make it easy, I'll just make it simpler. Just submit your pull requests as I showed, and read the template to see what you're missing. So once you do that, when you submit, our CI will run, and it will run in AppVeyor, which tests the module on Windows, and Travis, which tests it on iOS generally. So once both pass, then a committer will take a look at it and give comments. So that was the easy and hard mode. So you became you've contributed a lot, so you want to be committed. So what happens is most committers will see, all of us are actively looking for more committers. So we'll see whether you fulfill some of these criteria. If we could fulfill all, that'll be the best. But we'll take most of it. So you'll be joining the Cordova community. Like I understand that there's a lot of distributions that use Cordova, but might contribute a little bit. But I hope in the future we can make it easier for you to contribute back fixes. Not only will you your distribution be you don't have to maintain as much. I know some distributions, they have to patch Cordova a lot. Like every release, they have to patch it. So, that will help you if you don't have to do that a lot. So, lastly, please contribute. Easiest way, any contribution is helpful. File an issue at issues@cordova.io, or contact one of us. If somehow you can't contribute, we'll diagnose that issue and file it for you. But it's better if you file it yourself, so then you can get updates. Or contribute a pull request using the easy or hard modes. Thank you.